The ruling Nepal Communist Party, after finalizing with the party's ideological path, are now focusing on giving a logical conclusion to the stalled party integration, eventually leading to the party general convention. However, the road to the party general convention does not seem easy enough, as the upcoming few months, according to the political analysts, can either make or break the party. Good morning, I am Praram Vazahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Minister for Supplies Matrika Prasad Yadav admits lapses on behalf of the government while conducting checks on pesticide residue without evaluating the status of the available infrastructures. NCP focus now shifts to the party's upcoming general convention. NC postpones Central Committee meeting by 5 days, hints at delaying party general assembly. US President Donald Trump steps up attack on UK ambassador after leaked emails. Downing Street assures British Prime Minister's full support to the ambassador despite Trump criticisms. And India take on New Zealand in the first semi-final of the ICC World Cup later today. Both the camps are beat ahead of the first semi-final this afternoon. Let us now begin with the latest national political updates. A case of lack of accountability on the part of the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies has come to the fore regarding the pesticide residue tests on fruits and vegetables imported from neighboring India. At a press conference held in the capital, Minister Yadav expressed regrets that the government had to hold the tests to determine the levels of pesticide residues in fruits and vegetables due to the lack of infrastructure. Minister Yadav also stated the secretaries for Ministry of Agriculture, Prime Minister's office and his own ministry had kept him in the dark while making decisions. Minister Yadav expressed grievances and admitted the decision to carry out pesticide tests were taken without adequate information, which in his own words was the responsibility of the secretary. Minister Yadav even apologized for the decision's withdrawal. Yadav also clarified there were no external pressure or influence behind the government's decision to step back from carrying out the tests. Yadav assured the tests on imported fruits and vegetables at the border will resume once the required infrastructures are established. Minister Yadav accepted the hasty decision as his own mistake. Meanwhile, only recently, Agriculture Minister Chakrapani Khanal had stated there were centers to test pesticide levels in fruits and vegetables in all of the 7 provinces. In response to Khanal's statement, Minister Yadav said an official letter sent by the Agriculture Ministry itself had earlier mentioned such a center was available only in the capital. With the ruling Nepal Communist Party finalizing its political ideologies, the leadership's focus has now shifted towards the party's upcoming general convention. However, the question remains whether the NCP leadership would be able to conclude the long-standing party integration at local levels, reach a fair power sharing and deal among party leaders and host the general convention within a year. Chairman duo KP Sharma Oli and Pushpakamal Dahal put an end to speculations surrounding the viewpoints and ideologies of the country's biggest political party as they endorsed the document. The party now has 1 year time before the General Convention to conclude the remaining works of the integration at all local levels and division of responsibilities between leaders. Analysts are of the opinion it is high time for the party to start with pending works and conclude the party's organizational structure and gear up for the General Assembly from all levels. Despite being the biggest political party of the country, NCP's organizational structure has yet to gain a definite shape. However, after sealing the party's ideological path, leaders of the ruling party have emphasized the leadership should now fully focus on the General Assembly. Based on the announcements made during the unification between the then CPN-UML and CPN-Maoist Center, the General Assembly is to be scheduled for 16th of May 2020. Analysts have opined the General Assembly will be affected if the current trend within the party of forming separate factions and groupisms continues. Meanwhile, Nepali Congress has postponed the Central Committee meeting by 5 days. The party had announced it had begun holding unofficial discussions to finalize on the party's organizational structure and its regulations to prepare for the 14th General Assembly. There are speculations that the main opposition is stalling to push the dates for General Assembly as well. The Central Committee meeting that began on Sunday to discuss the party's organizational structure and regulations and plan for the General Assembly has been postponed till Friday. At the meeting yesterday, General Secretary Purna Bahadur Khatka put forth 14 agenda including the General Assembly, party's regulation and internal structure. However, as the Central Committee meeting has been postponed, official discussions on the agenda could not continue. Nepali Congress has claimed that the party officials and task force members have been carrying out unofficial discussions despite the postponement. Based on the party's regulation, Nepali Congress should organize its 14th General Assembly by February next year. The party also seems divided on whether to proceed with the interim structure or a new one as defined by the new statute. The Central Committee meeting that is to resume Friday is expected to find a way out of these issues. However, given the lack of enthusiasm towards the General Assembly that is only 8 months away, analysts have questioned if the leadership is trying to use the special provision in the party's statute to extend the tenure by a year once again. Nepal Rashtra Bank is hinting at introducing a mandatory provision for merger as it prepares for the monetary policy for upcoming fiscal year. Meanwhile, banks have urged Rashtra Bank to introduce policies that allow the banks for voluntary merger instead. At the discussion session held by Rashtra Bank in the capital, banks urged the central bank to allow for additional relief in income tax for banks opting for merger. Officials attending the discussion also stated they would voluntarily go for merger if Rashtra Bank increased the spread rate and increased the loan to deposit ratio from 80 to 85. Bankers also demanded Rashtra Bank to not interfere in the interest rates, citing the rates in an open economy are determined by the market. However, industrialists and businessmen have demanded Rashtra Bank limit the spread rate to 3% to lessen the burden of interests on loan. Industrialists and businesses also stated the random increase in interest rates had affected their investment choices and urged Rashtra Bank to take the issue with all seriousness before formulating policies. The spread rate currently stands at 4.5%. The central bank is doing its legwork to finalize the monetary policy. With the arrival of monsoon, the risks of natural disasters like floods and landslides have gone up as well. In this context, whereas the representatives in Western District Rupandehi, what measures have they taken for disaster risk management? Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
पहिला पनि विपद व्यवस्थापनको 50 लाखको छुट्याएको थियो भने अहिले पनि हामीले 40 लाख रुपैयाँ छुट्याएका छौं र हामीले प्रदेश स्तरीयबाट एउटा कन्टेनर पनि राखेका छौं।
हामी पनि वडा स्तरमा बजेट व्यवस्थापन गरेको छ। कहीं त्यस्तो विपद आइपरेमा तत्काल रूपमा हामी काम गर्न सक्ने गरी हामी तयारी अवस्थामा छौं।
बाढी पहिरो रोक्नलाई तार जाली गर्दै छौं।
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why have the units under the Prime Minister's office remained inactive? Your options are A. System not allowed to function, B. Prioritizing Secretariat office, and C. Incompetent staff network. The voting is on. You can type any WS, select your option A, B or C, and then send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With this, let us move on to the sports news.
Sports news.
Nepal is currently playing against Hong Kong for the title of the ACC Under-19 Eastern Region Championship. Nepal won the toss and are bowling first in the match currently underway at Kinrara Oval in Malaysia. Nepal had secured a 7-wicket win against Malaysia in the semi-final round. Hong Kong are in the finals following their semi-final win against Singapore. Nepal Under-19 team have performed well at the tournament so far and remain unbeaten as well. We'll be updating our viewers about the ongoing match in our later bulletins. The government has appointed Ramesh Shilwal to the post of Member Secretary at the National Sports Council. Minister for Sports Jagat Bahadur Vishwakarma appointed Shilwal as Member Secretary for the next 4 years. As per the Sports Act, it was a prerequisite for an official to be a board member of NSC, as Shilwal was only appointed NSC board member on Sunday under the recommendation of Nepal Volleyball Association. This was followed by the cabinet meeting, which appointed Silwal as member secretary yesterday. The outgoing member secretary, Keshav Bahadur Bista's term had ended 2 weeks ago. Bista himself and Volleyball Association's former president Dan Bahadur Gurung were in the race to back the post. Silwal is presumed close to Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, and he was the coordinator of the controversial Cricket Association of Nepal, which enjoyed the backing of NSE but was eventually dissolved. After assuming his post, Silwal expressed the commitment to host the scheduled South Asian Games in Nepal successfully in 5 months' time. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin airs at 11 a.m. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day ahead.